Many workers in Boston will celebrate Labor Day this year with a show of solidarity. To tell us what's planned and what they hope to achieve is the director of the New England District for 32BJ SEIU, Roxana Rivera. Thank you very much for being with us again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
First of all, just to remind our viewers, the workers that you have been organizing in Boston, you've got the janitors and airport service workers. Tell us a little bit about them.
So airport workers are just like fast food workers. These are workers in basically working in low-wage jobs, but you're talking for basically big corporations. So as you think about airlines or you think about fast food chains, right? Even though they are big corporations, they still have workers that are, although they're working, they're still living in poverty.
Of course, the other thing is that there are a lot of things that workers ask for. They want better pay, hours, and other conditions. But talk about what's going on in the airport service sector, because there's been a breakthrough recently in another city, Philadelphia. What does that mean, being able to have a union? How does that make a difference for those workers?
So one of the biggest things this Labor Day is we want to really put out the value for folks about what the benefits of having a union are. And we had a breakthrough this last week at airports across the country, specifically at the Philadelphia airport. There was an agreement with American Airlines that they'll open up a path for the lowest wage earners of the airport passenger service industry will now have a path to better their wages and working conditions. And we think that that helps those workers and their families, but it also is more stability for the airport industry and the security concerns about, just having a high turnover of workers at airports. And so because of the low wages. And so we hope that that will also lead to a breakthrough at other airports across the country, including Boston Logan Airport. And I think that's why on Labor Day, there's going to be 300 cities that are participating and having, actually the face of that is fast food workers, because they do work for global corporations that can afford to pay better wages to workers. And so there will be workers here in Massachusetts striking on that day, as well as in other cities.
Well, here, I guess we've gotten accustomed to thinking of low-wage workers as people who can easily be replaced, and we don't worry about them too much most of the time. But talk about the airport service workers. You said they have high turnover. Why is that a problem for passengers on airlines, for example?
So these workers are workers that actually clean planes, or are the wheelchair assistants, or the baggage claims. And so they're they have to serve as eyes and ears for the security of all the airport too. So they are what, people turn to when certain security situations happen at airports. They have had to aid the passengers, and those. So we think it's very important, specifically at airports with security concerns, that folks are trained, that they actually are stable workforce, that they're basically, and that the contractors that are at the airports, that they're actually not breaking the law. So we just want, stability and security for passengers.
Speaking of passengers who ride the T, your union has been involved with the janitors who clean up the T system, and recently some of them were let go, and I guess maybe too many of them were let go.
So we were able, through, again, the whole focus of Labor Day is saying, workers coming together, joining a union, they can actually advocate on issues that affect not only themselves, but the whole community. And, the T janitors, it's really important in regards to the safety. They basically have to deal with a lot of the cleaning of outdoor stations, which is different from indoor. And so we were able to come to an agreement with the MBTA to basically allow for more resources so that there will be appropriate amount of people cleaning the stations. That, again, is a safety issue for passengers that use the T.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Roxana Rivera from 32BJ SEIU. Roxana, another thing that is looming this weekend is a possible decision very soon by President Trump about the temporary legal status for immigrants who came here. They came here illegally at first, but they were They were children at the time. President Obama said they could stay, and who knows, maybe there would be this possibility of legalization. President Trump says he might eliminate that. I don't know. What would be the effect of that?
So it would be you're talking about 800,000 people in our country that basically, this is the only country they know. They came, as many immigrant families have come over the years, and this is, they came in as young people, and this is the only country they know. And to basically having them say that they will need to be deported to a country that they don't know. They're basically our future here in this country, right? And that's why the tech industry has come out, encouraging Trump not to end DACA. Our university system, folks in our university systems have, because they see the importance of basically, our young people having a future in this country, and that's been the history of our country for immigrants. And so that's why this Labor Day, again, immigrants have been such a big piece of our economy, of our working economy. And it's not just about wages and benefits for people, because that and their ability to join a union, but it's also their ability to basically, for us to be able to work on issues that affect all of our country, like the issues of immigration. And the fact that Trump is actually focusing on non-criminal deportations and ending programs that actually have helped this country build its economy, is that's why so many people are actually doing all that they can to affect the decision of the Trump administration in the coming days.
I know one thing that Trump has said, more than once is that people without legal status are taking jobs from other people. What do you say about these people?
So the issue is that the problem that we have in this country is that the high level of inequality, and this is we see this here in Boston, right? Folks can't afford to live here. We have low-end jobs, and so the most important thing, right, is that we need to, in order to grow the economy, right, we need to put more money in workers' hands, and so that it helps the economy as a whole. So it's not an issue of the lack of jobs. It's the issue of the type of jobs that there are, because the biggest problem we have is that the majority of working families still, even though they're working full time, they still cannot make ends meet, and that is the problem that we need to grapple with, and that's why we're out there marching on Labor Day.
And I've also heard we don't have enough people to fill some of the jobs. One thing more about Monday, anything in plan that people should be aware of if they want to take part?
Yes, so we're going to be bright and early at 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll be in front of the McDonald's on Tremont Street across from Boston Common. There'll be hundreds of people supporting the strike of fast food workers. And then at 11 a.m. at the Boston Common, we will be gathering, and then we'll be marching over to down Newberry Street to Copley Plaza. And we'll be having a formal program at Copley Plaza where there'll be workers from across the state that will be speaking on the issues of the importance of joining a union, but also there is a coalition of workers and community members that have come around to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and also for paid family medical leave. And so we're going to be talking about those issues on that day, and so we invite folks to join us.
Thank you very much for being with us.
All right, thank you.
Roxana Rivera from 32BJ SEIU.